We're about a month into Rematch's launch, and there's been a lot of demand for the first major patch. Today, we're going to be discussing what exactly it entails and what we can look forward to in the near future. There's good news and bad news here. Let's get to it. Up first, the short-term fixes. Next week, you can expect a patch that adds the following: basic gamepad remapping, colorblind options, and bug fixes. Shortly after, there will be a hotfix release that will improve the netcode, especially for the goalkeeper and when tackling. Now, they did give the reasoning why this is going to be produced via a hotfix rather than putting it into the big patch that's coming next week. To keep it short, these issues were just too complex to be added to the patch and are currently being tested. Slowclap did want to make it clear though that core gameplay netcode improvement will be a continuous effort, but they do feel they're ready to start tweaking and refining core gameplay mechanics, so they'll be talking about it when they do. But now let's talk about the big feature and the elephant in the room: crossplay support. This is where the bad news kind of kicks in, or sort of bad news. At least we now have a time frame, but it might be longer than people were hoping. Crossplay will be introduced at the latest in September with the launch of Season 1. At the earliest, maybe by the end of August. They have stated that the feature is working in the back end, but they do need to keep testing it and make sure that it's fully stable before rolling it out. Now, when it comes to player reporting, well, it will be delivered around the same time. It sucks that it needs to happen, but as we all know, cheaters are pretty rampant in multiplayer games. Let's also not forget that the competitive nature of the game also brings out some really toxic players. Now, when it comes to ranked and matchmaking, there's been a ton of discussion among the community on whether 3v3 and 4v4 should also support ranked. Their response on this matter is that they've heard the requests and they are aware, and they do plan on adding some new matchmaking queues for ranked, but they won't be adding them both at the same time. This is mainly due to fears of splitting the player base too drastically immediately with two new queues, but also because it requires a lot of back-end work, including UX and UI updates, along with player profiles, testing, end-of-match screens, and much more. They also did have a response on matchmaking and how it works. They use OpenSkill for regular queue, but as many know, the ranking system uses a different sort of logic. It's a representation of your skill, but also a progression system, as they put it. They even went as far to state that it's not used directly to select the players and create the teams, and with stricter parameters on skill difference within teams, this restriction really shouldn't be necessary. Similarly, they decided not to add any sort of restrictions preventing you to play with your friends no matter what rank they are. As they put it, if a master player wants to team up with a couple of gold friends, they think they should be able to. After all, this is football. It's a sport where often young talented players get a chance to play in the big leagues and perform amazingly well. Now, when it comes to demotion protection, for example, you can't really go from gold to silver, in their eyes it has positive effects, notably reducing anxiety and frustration around the ladder ranking experience. But notably, it does have multiple drawbacks, many of which the community has pointed out, so they are looking at this closely and will have updates regarding this in the future. And last but not least, we have talk about servers and latency. This is a huge one for the game, and it's worth pointing out that routing optimizations will begin in South America, with the Middle East and other regions to follow. They're starting with South America because of just how recurrent the issues are there. There are other improvements on the way. The objective is to ensure that players have the smoothest possible online experience. Ultimately though, the devs are committed to polishing Rematch. Slowclap has seen a ton of success here with over 60 million hours played already. They are looking and listening to community feedback and promise to continuously improve the game along with that. All in all, they addressed quite a few of the community's concerns with this post, and while I don't think everyone's going to be necessarily happy with what they said and some of the timelines they've given, I do think it's important to remember that Slowclap is developing this multiplayer game for the first time, and it's seen a massive surge of success that I'm sure is kind of overwhelming. At the very least, what I've gotten from this is that they do seem willing and committed to listen to the community, and that's really great to see. Do let me know your thoughts and comments on these changes down in the comment section below. If you enjoyed the video, do hit that like button, as it really does help the channel out, and if you're wanting more content like this, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell as well. As always, this has been Cruiser Based, wishing you a great day, and until next time, take care.